Let's check out Class of 2026 Buckeye native quarterback Braxton Dente. Look at this kid, man. How many 12-year-olds do you know that work out in full pads?
0.
By themselves. Not a single soul is out there but him. He has his helmet. He has his visor. He's got his shoulder pads, thigh pads, even his knee pads. All the way down to that crispy, icy white kicks.
Man, he looks good. You look good, you play good.
You play good, you get paid good.
Word.
Now we had Braxton and his father on the Gridiron Prep podcast earlier this year. And what did Braxton's father say about his son?
Mr. Dent said he couldn't believe his son was wise beyond his years. He compared him to a 50-year-old man.
And when he said that, it made me laugh. And then once I started interviewing the kid, I was blown away. I was impressed. This man is wise, he is mature, and he is a quarterback.
He looks a little bit like Jason Garrett with that Cowboys hat on that elliptical machine.
He's about it. If I got to start doing this now, I'm going to get used to it. He's working. That's pandemic work he's put in right there.
Braxton also has pretty lofty goals. He told us during the podcast that he wanted to break the Ohio all-time passing record, which is held by
Matt Mock. And what are those numbers?
I think Matt Mock threw for just under 19,000 yards for his career.
19,000. But after talking and meeting Braxton, talking to some of his coaches, I best believe that he can do it. I wouldn't be surprised seeing him playing in the shoe one day.
Just for comparisons, Joe Burrow, the Heisman Trophy winner Joe Burrow, is also from Ohio, and he's 4th on the list of all-time passing yards.
There you have it. Now our next player to watch dominated. Dominated Elite Athletics Mid-Atlantic Showcase just a few weeks ago.
Check out Maxx Jones, offensive and defensive lineman out of Plano, Texas, in the class of 2028. I bet his favorite food is pancakes.
Oh man, look at this. This kid is a beast. I mean, what were you saying earlier about kids his size and at that age?
Most kids his age don't play, and his size don't play with that level of physicality and aggression.
Not at all. Like,
usually you won't see that. I'm sorry. What were you about to say?
Like, just taking it back, we'll correlate the two between basketball and football. We played basketball growing up. We all had that big kid, huge on the team. But he was, he was soft. He didn't like physicality, he didn't like to box out, he didn't want to impose his will. And my man, Maxx Protection, has no problem letting the opponents know who he is.
Calls them children.
Who?
His peers.
Oh.
They're not on his level.
I would love to run behind Maxx Jones. He's clearing the way. No moves needed. The hole is there.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. In pre-production, when I saw the highlight tape, I couldn't help but start screaming. I just had to get a woo!
I feel you there. I feel it. Because he is a guy, once you see him, you're ready to play some football.
Yeah. Maxx Jones is a football player. Coaching quote of the day comes from Vince Lombardi, and the quote reads, "If winning isn't everything, why do they keep score?"
I am so glad that's the quote of the day. Because in the football realm, especially the youth football realm, it really grinds my gears. It grinds my gears to a T when I hear parents say, well, winning isn't everything.
Well, it's not everything. Sports teaches physical discipline. It builds physical endurance. It builds character. Even when you lose in sports, it teaches lessons on disappointment. And really, sports, you get friends out of it.
That sounds good. It really does. But where is football played? Football is played in America. And America loves a winner.
It's true.
If they want to learn all that other jazz you just mentioned, they might as well join the Boy Scouts.
Well, with that, one of my favorite things to do when I go to a youth football game is finding the biggest player on the field and the smallest player on the field and watching how they impact the game. This next player that we want to showcase isn't the biggest player on the field, but he has a big arm and he makes even bigger plays.
Let's check out class of 2028's quarterback Brycen Blevins out of Elizabethton, Tennessee. I mean, look at this kid. He's 9 years old, 4th grade, and they got him in the gun, rolling out the pocket. I mean, they're moving the pocket, rolling him out, and he's throwing these balls on the money.
Yeah, I like his arm. That was the first thing that stood out to me.
He throws a very catchable ball. It's like you'd have a really hard time not catching it. He's putting it in the breadbasket, so to speak.
That's funny you said that, because that's super important when you're throwing it to other kids your age and they've probably never caught a pass wearing 20 pounds of football equipment before.
Not at all. And we had Brycen on the Gridiron Prep podcast earlier this year, and he told me his favorite player is Johnny Manziel. But I'm seeing a lot of Kyler Murray out of him.
I definitely see Kyler too. It's in the throwing mechanics and their release. That side, quick gunslinger type throw reminds me a lot of Kyler Murray.
Yes, sir. So, Brycen, I know he's only in 5th grade, but in about 4 years, he'll be heading to play for the Elizabethton Cyclones, the 2019 Tennessee State champions, coached by none other than future Hall of Famer Jason Witten, older brother Sean Witten.
Sean Witten, as a head coach, it never hurts having a direct pipeline to NFL royalty.
And that's funny that you said a pipeline, because I think one reason that Elizabethton, we're just gonna call them the Cyclones, won the state is because how they bring up their youth throughout the program. So they're connected, not just from freshman football or even middle school football. I'm talking from Little League. They are connected. They're trying to implement the same philosophies from the time they put on a helmet to the time they get to that varsity football level, playing under the Friday night lights. So Brycen's dad was a youth coach for the Cyclones, and he said, yes, that's why you see us in the gun running that thing, because that's what they're going to be running when they get to high school. So the earlier you start preparing them, the better they'll be when they get there.
That's smart.
Sorry.